off in the chat tonight, guys. Please, let's get loud, let's get wild, let's get crazy. Comment away. Don't worry about my speeches. Interrupt them all night. Okay, we're going to celebrate the big Leafs win. Follow along if you're not followed yet. It's the place to be, man. It's the party after the game. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe if you can. Subscribe on YouTube if you want. That's free. That helps me out, too. Follow along on Instagram. All of it, all of it, all of it. Let's get loud here tonight for the boys, huh? Now, I do want to go over some numbers real quick. Here's some interesting numbers. Very simple stuff. Okay, you don't need to be a rocket salesman to know what I'm talking about here. You know what I'm talking about? All right, you don't got to be a rocket salesman. Listen, here's some numbers you want to watch out for tonight. 3 players on the Leafs with 2 goals. Right, Mikheyev, Bunting, and who was the other? Willie Stiles, right? Nylander. All 3 of them got 2 goals. That's 3 potential hat tricks by the end of this game. That's pretty awesome. You got Labushkin. What do they call him again? The Wolf or something? Do I have to make him an icon in here now too? A wolf? Do I have to throw in a blue wolf for him? Is that what they call him? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But he gets his first as a Leaf tonight too. Soup's in the chat. He's looking good here tonight as well. You know, so 3 players with 2 goals each. That looks pretty awesome, right? There was 13 penalties tonight. Now, you remember the last time we had around 13 penalties? It might have been exactly 13. I don't remember. I was losing my, mind about it. I was saying bad hockey playing. I was saying referees calling too much because the analytics want more power plays. Listen, we do want more power plays when it's well-deserved. That's what I'm saying. Context is everything. You can't just look at the stats. 13 well-deserved penalties tonight. Well-deserved. On both sides, there was calls. I don't think I can argue with a single penalty here tonight. Maybe 1 or 2 was a lot to keep track of. You could probably tag me in something on Instagram and prove me wrong. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 I missed that was kind of faulty. But out of the 13 calls, I'm like, that's them getting mad at each other. That's the game escalating with intensity, right? That's players saying, I've had enough. I'm taking a shot at this guy, and I don't care what happens to me. That's exciting stuff. When you get 13 power plays, or 13 penalties, that way, that's a good game. That's a good game. I like that. That was intense. Right? So I'm not against the 13 penalties tonight. Good for the refs for calling what they had to call, because they actually let a lot more go. They let a lot more go than just those 13. Okay? There was a lot more that could have been called, and they let the boys kind of play it out a little bit. All right? You're saying that's the Wilson effect. I mean, that's exactly it. You got to toughen up if you want to play against a team like Washington, and they did. Everybody's talking about the grit they don't have and this and that, and they don't stick up for nobody. They had just enough grit tonight to make sure that they could fend off Washington for a 7-3 win, right? Come on now, right? That's as gritty as you have to be in today's NHL, and I'm fine with that. If you're going to win, I'm fine with that, right? And the only other number we really have to look at again is 10 goals tonight. 10 goals tonight, right? Some sloppy defense, a little bit on Washington's part. Some elite goals, right? Again, those hands are too sweet, stuff like that. I liked, what was that second goal from Washington? Who Carlson? Was that Carlson? I mean, he kind of walks Muzzin a little bit, which I'm not thrilled about. Like, dude, come on, you're supposed to be better than that. But he's allowed to make mistakes too, man. I'm not mad at him. I'm just disappointed on how that played out. It sucks that it's Muzzin coming back from injury too. Like, that's going to get in his head a little bit. So it's both. As a fan, you're kind of like, please, you know what I mean? Can you do a little better next time? Jeez. But at the same time, cutting across back through the crease like that takes hands too. And Carlson had it for Washington. So that was a good goal. You know what I mean? There wasn't too much to complain about for the goals. Just 10 of them. You'd like to see. If I'm nitpicking just to say what could make the game absolutely better, I would have rather have seen a 5-1 game, I guess. A 4-goal lead, right? That's the 4-goal lead I'd like to see. Instead of 7-3, I'd like to dial it back to 5-1. Right? Don't let so many go in against our boy Campbell there, perhaps. But that's just me trying to figure out what you could possibly improve on. Because you should always be trying to improve, right? That's the goal. But in terms of satisfaction level, I'm good with tonight's game. I'm good with it. 7-3, 10 goals, dominant over Washington. Washington never really had a hope. Not really. They didn't really get themselves back into it. They got their first goal or whatever like that, and it looks like it's going to be a huge Washington comeback. And then immediately the Leafs were scoring 2 right after that, being like, no, shut up. You're not winning this one. We're coming out on top. Can you ask for anything more as a fan? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with that. I see we got a fair amount of you in the chat here. You've kind of silenced off a little bit. Let me get that speech out. I appreciate it. But let's get loud again. Start commenting, man. I want to get into what you guys have to say. And thanks for all the follows, subscriptions, cheers, all that stuff. All that stuff you're seeing right there from our good pal Leslie, always big supporter. Anything like that, it all helps, man. So let's celebrate tonight, okay? Let's get into it here. What do you guys got to say? What am I missing here?